So, a decade-old game has been taken over by brand new, fresh, and very intelligent developers who believe that the main issue with the game is its problematic depictions. So, they issued a patch where they genuinely think that in the game there are Nazis, and that video game is supporting Nazism in the real world, and they view themselves as heroes by removing those depictions. So now the Nazism in the real world has gone down. Activist groups everywhere are in dismay because they're not going to receive their funding, because the problem they're fighting against is less all due to the Skullgirls developers, which have decided to censor some of their problematic depictions. The second issue is that they decided to censor certain lewd images. The video game in itself is not safe for work. Like, there is no issue, okay? It is on Steam. It has been placed on YouTube, which is a very Puritan and censorious platform. No one had an issue with the depictions up until now, when the nuns have gotten in charge and they realized that this is way too much for the male gaze. The teenage audience cannot be subjected to such lewd depictions, but it is up to the Christian right to fix that. So, of course, now there is a debate. Overwhelmingly, like the overwhelming amount of normal, healthy people are telling the developers that they are highly problematic. The developers are being offensive and they should stop. If you're not doing this, then you're also problematic. And I will show you why. So I'm not going to give names of people or anything because I do not want to be accused of harassment and bullying. But if you go on Twitter, you will see what I'm talking about. In fact, I don't even need to give names. Like, you can pick literally any one of these individuals, go through their timeline yourself, and you will find out what I mean. So you have this gentleman, which says that the Skullgirl censoring that is so funny, it's literally just Coomers who've never played a single fighting game complaining. Okay, fair enough. So when you go to their timeline, what do you see? Happy birthday, Zappa. This is what they share, right? So they are allowed to enjoy what they like, shirtless men. Like, their entire timeline is filled to the brim with shirtless men, right? So their Coomerism is okay. Like it is perfectly fine for them to enjoy their things. But if you enjoy the same lewd images in a fighting game, you're not. Here's the thing. I don't spank when I play Skullgirls, okay? In fact, I never even considered this to be an issue. I mean, as a teenager, I used to like sex and violence, and I enjoyed having it in my media. Just because I like violence in my video games doesn't mean that I want to go to Ukraine. Do you understand this, P-Brain? Like, do you understand what I'm talking about? Like, just because I like violence in a video game doesn't make me a violent person. And just because I like fan service in a video game doesn't make me a rapist. I know this is astonishing and it's way too much information for your brain to handle, but a person can appreciate the aesthetics of art without spanking it. I can go to a museum and look at the statue of Venus without feeling the urge to whoop it right out there in public. Now, I know you're not the same like me. I understand that you have much more darker and deeper urges, because most of the people that are mocking the individuals against the censorship happen to be furries, happen to be into some very bizarre fetishes that you need to Google in order to find out what they are. Like, these are the correct, moral, upstanding members of society, the hashtag not Coomers, that when you go onto their timeline, you see an altar dedicated to human sexuality. Right? So these are the prestigious individuals that we should take morality from. But when you look at the numbers, they are overwhelmingly in the minority. And what I don't understand is that if no one is shaming them for what they like, why are they shaming us for what we like without right? Right? Like, if people are tolerant and they're leaving you alone and no one is complaining, it's like, okay, you know, you're into this. You like shirtless men. Okay, more power to you. Like, I'm not going to stop you. But why can't you respect me in return? Why can't you give me the same level of respect that I give to you? Why do you come into my hobbies and say that what I like is problematic? If I don't find your shirtless men problematic, why do you find a fighting game that is safe for work and has been on every single social media platform? Why do you find that problematic? Why do you want that to be censored? It's because it upsets me? Are you a sadist? Like, is this how you live your life? You want you and your friends to be comfortable and happy, and other people's to be upset because you get into their entertainment when no one goes into yours? Because this is what the problem is about, right? This is why gamers are upset. We know what ideology is pushing this trend. We understand that the people pushing this ideology must hate us. And why do we have to give them cash in return? Why do you have to pay them for stuff that we know that they do in order just to upset us for no other reason? Like, this is literally their thing. It's like, do we accomplish anything by doing this? No. But let's do it anyway, because it's going to piss off the correct people. And it's going to drive marketing. Because at the end of the day, this is what they're trying to do, right? Like, they're trying to get the controversy going. They're doing this censorship knowing that this conversation will happen, and people will talk about their game that in no other way they would have talked about now, right? This is the marketing. It's so disgusting. This is late-stage woke capitalism, where you go on the corner of a street, and you spit on a person, the person spits back at you, and now everyone is spitting, and that is called progressive ideology. This is how society has advanced, okay? Like we have moved from the traditional cisgender, heteronormative, evil capitalist patriarchy into a world where everyone spits at each other, and this is fine. Like, this is the future. And this is why gamers do not want to put up with this anymore, okay? Like, we understand that you're hypocrites. We know your timeline. We can literally click through it. We can go through the videos that you post. We know what you're into. So the fact that you live in a glass house and you decide to shame other people for liking just normal things, like liking Big Booba, to me it's bizarre, right? Like, there is no way, there is no universe in which when I posted a Twitter thing saying that, yeah, I would like to have sexy women in video games, that should not have gotten 2.3 million views. That is pathological. That is not normal. That is not sane. Okay? Teenagers being attracted into entertainment that has violence and sexuality in it is not controversial. Your father was into that. Your grandfather was into that. Your great-grandfather. Now, they didn't have video games, but they would read books. Okay? Like, the media and the fiction for young boys have been the same throughout human society in various cultures in various times. There is absolutely nothing controversial. If you catch your son looking at a Playboy magazine at the age of 18, you do not take him to a doctor. Unless that's literally all he does. Like if he watches that magazine from dusk till dawn, I understand that is a problem. But if you just happen to find a magazine in his bedroom, you do not take him to a doctor. That is not pathological. That is normal. That is healthy. That is acceptable. Okay? So, I find it bizarre that the people who find this acceptable are attacking other individuals. Like, no one is attacking you for this type of art. So, please have the same respect and the same courtesy in leaving people alone to like what they like. I hope I made myself understood, but I'm pretty sure that bad faith actors are going to try to twist my words, or they're going to try to misinterpret what I've said, because they can't just live and let live. Right? I guarantee to you, none of these people cared about Skullgirls yesterday. None of them had a problem with this video game, but the moment the corporation issued the marching orders, just like little sheep, they have to follow through. At least I understand why people on my side care about it. It's because it normalizes this culture, right? Again, no one cares about Skullgirls, but it normalizes the concept that everything that is remotely pandering to the straight heteronormative sexuality needs to be removed. Meanwhile, shirtless men are fine, furries are fine, various fetishes that you have to search on Google are fine. If you happen to like morbidly obese women like Gorlok the Destroyer, that's fine. Like, all of those things are fine, right? But the moment you happen to like the traditional standards of beauty, then you're a pervert. Yeah, I disagree with that take. I'm sorry. I refute it. And even though I'm a married man, and I already have gotten what I need from life, I do hold it on a base of principle, because believe it or not, I do have empathy. And I understand how it's like for other individuals who do not appreciate their entertainment being taken away. And also, and this is very interesting, the same people that are very progressive, and they would say that you should want more from a woman than sexuality, which I agree, fine. They're the same individuals that will shame you for being a virgin. And they use it like, oh, you're an incel or that. So like basically you're saying that everything in life is about sex, right? Like this is the standard of a man. Like had he gone laid or not. Which, you know, you can have this take. Fine, you can have this take, but you can't call yourself a progressive then, right? Because you wouldn't apply this take to a woman. Like you wouldn't say that a woman's worth is whether or not she became a mother. Like that is very misogynistic, isn't it? Right? But why would you say that to a man then? Why would you use the word incel when the man clearly is not part of some online group or anything like that? He just didn't happen to have a girlfriend. Why would you shame him for it using the same ideology? This is something that I would really like to know. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.